and we have a plan to develop this nation. We voting green, we voting green, we voting NLP again. We voting green, 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 we voting NLP again. We voting green, 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 we voting NLP again. We voting green, we voting green, green, we voting green, green, we voting green, we voting NLP again.
NBC can come back at all.
And a good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique once again. It is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
And I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, and you are listening. Yeah, for the next 2 hours, you understand, it's kind of hard talk, you understand. 8 days remaining.
8
days, well, a little under 8 days. Yeah, 7 days and some hours. 7 days and some hours. Yeah, not even 8 days, 7 days and some hours. Yeah? Till you get the opportunity to cast your ballot. And for the police officers, it's more like 5 days, kind of like 4 days. 4 days and some hours. Yeah, 4 days and some hours to the police officers. Yeah, so men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, yeah, you're first up to bat. So this Friday is a polling day. Remember, election day rules apply. Right? So this Friday is a election day. It's a polling day. So the same rules that apply on March the 13th apply on the 9th as well. So no alcohol to be sold.
Nope.
Yeah, so you cannot sell alcohol, give away alcohol, that sort of thing. Yeah, those rules are in place for this Friday between up till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, yeah, a little after 5 in the afternoon you can start. After 5 you could sell a drink and so, right? But up to 5 o'clock you cannot. All right? So that is in order. You cannot, no Green Day this Friday.
Nah.
This Friday you cannot put on your party colors and your logos and all these kind of things and so and all of that. It is illegal to do that this Friday. All right? Nice, because it's a polling day. So it's a special polling day for all this, the police officers and so who will have to work on election day. So they need to cast their ballot before, and we know they're going to vote for the House. Nice, right, good.
House.
Yeah, Devon. Yeah, boy, you all realize the voice kind of starting to sound funny. Yeah, that's what taking place. He kind of coming back and going and cracking and all kind of thing. Yeah, Mount Tranquil.
It's the season, man.
I need to say a special good morning to all the listeners out there in Mount Tranquil. Papa, all of you all, yeah? Good morning to you all out there in Mount Tranquil. Hope that you all are having a fabulous morning this morning. And those of you from the surrounding areas as well, yeah? Nice, beautiful. Yeah, I just had to say that.
Yeah. Carriacou and Pity Martinique, good morning to you. Special good morning to everyone on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Pity Martinique.
And let's say a special good morning to all of you listening via the various radio stations. 97.5 City Sound FM broadcasting from River Road in St. George.
89.5 CRFM broadcasting from Manjaloo.
91.9, 91.5 broadcasting from Sauters in St. Patrick.
And 92.9 Sister Isle in Carriacou.
Yes, indeed. And then in Brooklyn, we have the Big Bad Sound. Yeah, two kind of that crazy fellas we on radio on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, well, that crazy man.
Crazy fella is certifiable. Yeah, crazy guy. Nice. Yeah, Wade. Good morning to you, Wade. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. That's Noise Radio, We Vibes Radio, the We Vibes family, broadcasting on 94.9 out there in Brooklyn. Wade, we hope you have a wonderful day today. And I think 92.1 should be up. Yeah, Kiss FM should be up. I'm not sure. If you're getting them, all well and good. Yeah, so. But how was your weekend, man?
Hey, man, it was hectic, right? But enjoyable. At the end of it, last night, it was filled with joy, excitement, positivity, and hope for the future.
And some wonderful messages from the platform of the New National Party. Again, we have launched our manifesto. So the manifesto of the New National Party is now out. so you all can get it. We'll throw the link up in the live. Have we gone live yet? We gone live already?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
So so we'll throw the link up for you in the live in a while. We'll throw the link up for you so that you can get your copy of the manifesto of the new National Party. Yeah, nice.
Hey, and good morning to all of you there from Toronto to New York to London, Miami, wherever you at. A special Grenada, pure Grenada good morning. And it's a beautiful day here in Spice Island. Those of you who are not here as yet, hey, you should be packing because you only got about 7 more days to go.
Yeah.
March 13th, historic day. For Grenada.
All right, so we're going to take a short one here. Let's just make sure everything, popping and working the right way and thing. Let's just play a little something and come right back.
Na na, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Let's keep moving, and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Let's keep moving, the house happy rule. Let's keep moving, and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Keep on moving, the house happy rule. Now tell me what is wrong with the NBC. Give them a chance and they mash up everything. So people start to call them the mash up party. 6 months in the game, Nas wouldn't pay no salary. So people start to call them let's salary party. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Let's keep moving, the house happy rule. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Keep on moving, the house happy rule. They promise more work and money for him and him. The end they disappoint and send home everybody. So people start to call them the send home party. But thanks to Dr. Mitchell and the NNP party, that rescue Grenadians from all the pain and misery. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Let's keep moving, the house happy rule. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Keep on moving, the house happy rule. Finance minister like he was getting crazy, start selling everything like cocaine junkie. Sell till he sell other people property. So people start to call them the sell-out party. So thanks to Dr. Mitchell and the NNP party. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Let's keep moving, the house happy rule. Let's keep moving and then be happy rule. Oh yeah. Keep on moving, the house happy rule. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I said a lie. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they won the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One time they get to the eat. That is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. High praises for we performance, and we have the endurance. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. More private sector investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC main position is to be the opposition. Them fellas not ready to lead. All they have on the mind is green. If you want the country move on in a positive direction, let your vote remain the same. Vote for it and be again. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Right now, Grenada on fire. Everybody start to perspire. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. 840 million. Let's stop with juice on the island. Let's keep moving on. and beg for a blind. Tell the people I set a line. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they want the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One time they get to the eat, that is why they lose every seat. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. High praises for we performance, and we have the endurance. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. More private sector investment. Everywhere is more development. Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. NDC beg and beg for a blind. Tell the people I set a line. When the people give them a try, they support the country try. When they want the election, them fellas didn't have a plan. One time they get to the eat, that is why they lose every seat. Kids, 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 kids. All who are act, I like it. All who are act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it. Which one you like? We like it. I did to Groovy for 2018. One name Kid, one name Lazim. I visit Grenada, Jerry to 1 p.m. to find out how they feel about them. All who are act, I like it. All who are act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it. Which one you like? We like it. No ski for the competition. Kids is the better one. All who are act, I like it. All who are act, I like it. In my quest to find out why they chose it, they told me kid have the right formula. He said quality is exceptional. Last can compare with it, no time at all. All who are act, I like it. All who are act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it.
Yes, folks. Yeah, we're here. We're just organizing one or two things here.
No ski.
Nice.
One.
So it's been quite an eventful few days.
Very eventful.
Yeah, we had that press conference in relation to the manifesto launch on Thursday. The manifesto launch itself, which took place with some wonderful presentations, I must say, by the various speakers. We had the Honorable Emmeline Pear. She did a wonderful, wonderful job. Yeah, you also had the Honorable Gregory Bowen. You had Prime Minister himself. You had the Honorable Nicholas Steele. All of them did some wonderful presentations in relation to various aspects of the manifesto of the New National Party. And as would have been stated, the manifesto of the New National Party is a continuation. So within this term of the New National Party, between 2013 to 2018, the New National Party has already achieved many of the things promised in the 2013 manifesto and laid the foundation for many of the other things that have been promised. And together with that, also incorporating, because the thing is, you're looking at renewal and that energetic approach to development. Yeah? So you also have some new things that have been included in the 2018 manifesto. So whether it's youth, whether it's agriculture, whether it's information communication technology, you see all of these areas incorporated into the manifesto of the New National Party. Yeah. So I've been seeing many of these things coming up. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I think the presentation was a wonderful one, and so, and giving an outlining, as we say, the way forward, the continuing way forward for the party and the country. And the Grenadian people definitely will appreciate the way in which it was outlined, and so setting out the various plans, and boy, oh boy, Grenadians look forward for a next successful 5 years, right, of the New National Party in governance. A lot in store, from healthcare right down. We will see, a big difference. And so,
Yeah, and reading directly from the manifesto, and his first section deals with plans for the economy. It says Grenada's economy must provide job opportunities for those who desire to work, business opportunities for those who choose to invest, fueled by an educated society that is capable of producing high-quality goods and services that are competitive in a diverse and forever evolving global economy. And it says under our economic model, to continue, we don't have to say we're going to start. We can say we're going to continue to grow the economy and to remain one of the fastest growing economies within the OECS sub-region, to achieve broad-based growth across all the productive sectors, to expand export through the implementation of the National Export Strategy and through the introduction of a Small, Micro and Medium-Sized Enterprise Development Act and accompanying incentives regime. So continue on the path of growth and development that we are already on. Yeah? And when he said to achieve broad-based growth across all the productive sectors, you're speaking in tourism. So encouraging more hotels to expand, like Cinnamon Hill Hotel has expanded. You're seeing that Flamboyant is now another entity, and they are redoing the entire thing and expanding, incorporating more rooms and so encouraging, increasing the room stock in Grenada. When we say room stock, some people may wonder about what you're talking about. But the number of available rooms for people wanting to visit Grenada. Because you sometimes find, as is the situation now, that nearly all the hotels have close to full occupancy. Not filled, but close to filled occupancy. And it's difficult for individuals coming from overseas now who would like to stay at a hotel to be able to find a room. As such, if you're going to increase the size of the visitors, the number of visitors coming into the country, you have to increase your hotel stock. And the new National Party has been doing that. You have the Silver Sands, which is scheduled to open anytime from now, within the next couple of weeks to a month. There'll be an opening of the Silver Sands, but the first opening of the Silver Sands, and so because a lot of work has taken place there and is taking place there right now. So when you say achieve broad-based growth across all the productive sectors, that's one of them. You're speaking agriculture. And sometimes you hear people speaking about agriculture like all Grenadians can be hewers of wood and drawers of water. That's the way they talk about agriculture. And not looking at the marriage between agriculture and tourism. Once your tourism sector is growing, your agriculture sector has to grow to meet the demand. Other than that, other countries are going to benefit from your growth. Yeah? If we're going to have more hotels, and not if, because we are going to, so it's not a if, it's a fact that we're having new hotels. You have Petit Calavini, yeah? You have the Silver Sands, you have the Rivera, you also have up in Lavera, yeah? And there's also on the cards a hotel facility for St. David. So you have all of these coming. The people who are going to be using these, and the additional people that are going to be using the additional rooms at the Cinnamon Hill, and the additional people that might be coming for any of the other hotels that are expanding, and the guest houses that are expanding or setting up, like for instance in the True Blue area, they'll need cabbage, they'll need lettuce, they need their tomatoes, they need their cucumbers. And understanding how the world is going today, travelers do not want anything with GMOs, they don't want anything with fertilizer. They want as close to organic as possible, if not organic. Yeah? And we in Grenada have the soil, we have the capability, we have the competency, and we have the manpower to ensure that we can provide all that is needed within our hotel sector when it comes to those areas.
And very interesting too, Sheldon, because we have also seen a number of farmers, right, already has been contracted by Silver Sands to produce, to grow and provide the hotel with a number of agricultural produce. So you see the link. The tourism sector increase, becomes better. The farmers, right, will have a bigger market. They will plant more, and the agricultural sector, right, will boom. That is so very important for our people, because I mean, look, we have seen a number over the last 5 years, right? Rooms, hotel rooms, guest houses and so being built in Grenada. That shows you, right, that the visitor stock in Grenada, right, is increasing.
And again, remember, there is a correlation. It's not just saying, let's plant more, because here's what, and we have to look at it from this perspective. For the individual farmer, if the market is flooded with a particular product, it makes the price for the individual farmer less. So the farmer gets less money. If everywhere you pass in town you're seeing tomatoes, the price of tomatoes become dirt cheap.
Yep.
If everywhere you look you're seeing lettuce, everywhere you look you're seeing cabbage, everywhere you look you're seeing carrots and those things, the individual price gets cheap. The less there is on the market, the higher the price.
Yep.
The better, worse for the consumer, but better for the individual farmer. So there has to be a balance in how you produce and the amounts you produce. And so there's a point in time when you get watermelon for next to nothing. There's another point in time when you have to pay a crown and a pound for a piece of watermelon.
Just a slice of watermelon.
Yeah, but so it's according to the season. And it's according to the supply as well. And when we're speaking about agriculture here, in the context of the hotel sector, we're not ignoring the fact that we have to feed ourselves and cut the amount of money that leaves Grenada. So all the carrots that come up from Trinidad and other places, we have to start cutting back on that. Yeah? So that can only be done by us producing, but not only producing, because we produce here, and then people don't want to use what you produce here.
You don't consume.
For instance, honey. And somebody, I need a bottle of honey, please. Me and Devon need a bottle of honey.
And the demand for honey on the international market.
And the reason that there's this big demand for Grenada's honey is because it's real honey.
And it's the best, wherever you go.
Some of you go to the supermarket and you pick up honey on the shelf that is not Grenadian. And you do not realize that the honey, what you think is honey that you have picked up, is actually corn syrup. Yeah? Sweetened corn syrup. Some of them are sugar and water added together with honey. Yeah? It's not pure honey. But when you get honey out of Grenada, and I don't know if it's because the bees and them pollinating with them spice tree and all kind of thing, it does get the honey an extra kick.
A flavor.
A special.
Yes,
so that when Jessamy and so on go overseas, they're getting the gold medal all the time with Grenada's honey. Yeah? So all of these things fall into our economic model when we speak of to achieve broad-based growth across all the productive sectors. And we're speaking of agriculture here and how you marry that with tourism. So you increase your room stock. So one, you provide jobs through the construction sector. You also provide additional jobs to those people who supply the construction sector, the hardware stores, the galvanized firm, the roofing firms, the truck drivers, the van drivers, the plumbers, the electricians, all of them, they receive a little something. So you boost the economy through that. But at the end of it, you also create another set of permanent jobs. And in that sense, we're speaking of those people who do the rooms, those people who serve the food, those people who cook the food, those people who do the gardening, or who fix the electronic equipment in a different room, or who maintain the pool, the plumbers, and so on, the electricians,
security
who are
guards.
always going to be on call, security guards, and the various other levels of persons that are incorporated into the tourism sector. So you can see thousands of jobs created like that alone. But what of the persons who want to work outside of the tourism sector providing services to the tourism sector? So you have, I've heard of recently of a company that is providing to the tourist sector, they are providing all the things like the soaps. You know, when you go to a hotel room, they have the little soap and the shampoo and the skin cream and these things. And they are providing these now to the hotel sector. Yeah? That's a job. That's jobs that have been created providing a service to the hotel sector without actually being in a hotel. Yeah? And we've spoken of the agriculture. We have not spoken of the fishermen yet.
Nope.
And they are seriously going to benefit. I remember years ago there was a program It disappeared under the last administration. There was a program where they were hey, and Ken Don, like you read my mind, eh, boy. Good morning to all of you on the live. The fishing sector, which can bring in over $40 million, and I'm using a conservative estimate here because I know it's over that for sure, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oli, I'll talk to Oli on that one after. Yeah. A conservative estimate, $40 million on a yearly basis in relation to fisheries. And so, years ago, there was a program where they were doing the deep line fishing for diamondback squid. Now, as it is right now, when the hotel sector wants to get squid, they have to get squid from down in Guyana and other countries. And so, when we have it in our waters and it provides an opportunity worth millions of dollars, not only for the Grenada market, but for the regional market. One, when they get the squid from there, is these small things. The diamondback sometimes can be up to about 6 feet long, 5 feet long, that sort of thing. So it's larger and it's going to be fresher because it's caught right in Grenadian waters and brought in. So you have a multi-million-dollar entity there that you can gain money from. You also have the tuna and all of these other things that are caught in Grenadian waters that the hotel sector will just be eating up. So all of these, this is what the New National Party means when it says to achieve broad-based growth across all of the productive sectors, and how you marry various sectors with each other, right? Also, if we want to continue speaking about agriculture, how do you marry manufacturing and agriculture? Yeah? So that the person who produces honey and wants to bottle that honey properly and then market that honey both locally, regionally, and internationally, how do you assist that person? Yeah? You need to get that done by ensuring that the price of production goes down. Let me say it again for them. The price of production goes down. When you're producing an item, there are costs involved in producing the item. Yeah? Simply saying that we need to start bottling all our juice and start bottling all our thing and start bottling down the yam and all.
It's all good saying that.
It's nice saying it. But let's look at it from a serious perspective. Yes, it must be done. Yes, we have to do it. Yes, the New National Party is aiming at getting that done. Hence the reason we are attempting to liberalize the electricity sector.
Electricity too high. It is too high in our country, right? And thank God the government is working to get that done.
Exactly. So when we say that we are attempting to liberalize the electricity sector, what the New National Party government is doing is not getting into a fight with Grenlec, is not getting into a fight with Grenlec workers. It's not even getting into a fight with WRB. It is seeking the interests of you, the Grenadian people, who 15-0 put this government in office 5 years ago. It is ensuring that the job that you gave this New National Party administration to do, that we do it. So the foundation for manufacturing is being set. Yes, there are facilities that are available both in St. Andrew at the industrial park there and at the industrial park in the south of the island in Frequente. And there are other locations that manufacturing can take place. But when you look at the price to produce an item here in Grenada and the price to produce an item next door in Barbados, or the price to produce that item in Trinidad, you realize that the cost of production is much less. So in other words, if something costs $10 to produce in Grenada, you may find that it costs $3 to produce the same item in Trinidad. And what is the difference? What makes it cheaper to produce it in Trinidad? One, in both countries, you have educated people. Young, middle-aged, and elderly. You have an educated workforce. You have a skilled workforce. People who are trained in various aspects that can aid them in manufacturing and production. So you have a skilled and educated workforce in both countries. If marketing board puts out a call and says that they want X amount of soursop, they usually get it. Or they put out a call and say they want X amount of mango, they usually get it. So it means that the means of production is there. The means of producing all of the agricultural produce that may be needed, it's there. We have farmers on the island who can produce and who will produce once there is a market for the produce. It's not just producing it, it's the market for it. So you have that system in place where people can get the things to go into manufacturing. So the various bits and pieces needed to go into manufacturing, they are available. So you wonder, well, why is the cost still $3 in Trinidad and $10 in Grenada? The cost of electricity. And mind you, the fuel that is being used by Grenlec comes through the Petro-Carib deal. Let me say that again, because some people talking about government that taxing the fuel used by Grenlec, and that ain't true. Let me say it again, that ain't true. Yeah? There's this talk about government is taxing all the fuel, and that is what has the electricity price at the rate that it is right now. That ain't true. They get their fuel through Petro-Carib. Hence the reason you see the Petro-Carib boat come every now and again and provide the fuel and that sort of thing. Right? So by liberalizing the sector, and when we say liberalize, it means that you give other companies the opportunity to enter into the market. It also means that you give the manufacturers, the people who will be manufacturing the item, the option to produce their own electricity. Why should a company operating in Frequente Industrial Estate that has all that roof space, that could take some lovely solar panels,
And there's all that hot sun every day.
thank you very much, in the south of the island, that could reduce the amount of electricity that they have to take from Grenlec, in some instances by as much as 45% or 35%, could reduce it. And for some businesses, they may not even have to take any electricity from Grenlec. Why should it be a case that they are forced? Why should it be a case that they are forced to have to take electricity from Grenlec at whatever price Grenlec decides that it's going to be? Grenada is one of the only countries that did not have a regulatory board for the price of electricity. Those are the things that we tried to correct in 2016 with those bills putting in place, because the board could have regulated water and telecoms. It could not have regulated electricity. And that clause was placed in there by the NDC of 1990 to 1995. When they sold Grenlec, they made sure that they put electricity, I mean the main thing, the driver of your economy, yeah? They put that outside of regulation. So it could not have been regulated by the board. That was one of the things that they did. They also ensured that if a business set it up in Frequente now decides they're putting up solar panels and produce electricity, they have to sell all that electricity to Grenlec. They can't use it. They have to put on a meter, send all electricity through that meter out, so it shows how much electricity going out, and then have another meter showing all the electricity coming in. So they have to sell that back to Grenlec, place it in the Grenlec's grid, and then purchase electricity from Grenlec that they could not just produce and use on their own. Those are the things that this NNP administration in 2016, I was one of the people that spoke on that bill. I was still in Parliament at the time. I think it was one of the last bills I spoke on. We ensured that we started the process of liberalizing the electricity sector. WRB challenges government's right to be able to liberalize the electricity sector. But government has a right and a responsibility to the Grenadian people to ensure that the manufacturing jobs can come.
Definitely. And the thing is, with government doing that, ensuring that electricity, the cost of electricity is much cheaper, the end game is employment, Sheldon. Employment for its people, because once the cost of electricity goes down or the sector is being liberalized, where more companies comes in, the key thing there is employment for our people. Right? Most importantly, the employment, because the manufacturing sector right, will begin to pick up more employment. You understand? More persons get involved in different companies and so that will do things to enhance the economy. More employment.
Devon, the manifesto of the New National Party also speaks to continue to significantly reduce unemployment with specific emphasis on the following areas. It speaks of reducing youth unemployment. That's one very important area. Reducing youth unemployment. Creating more opportunities in our rural communities. Now, when we speak of these two areas, you speak of things like the same manufacturing that we are speaking about, that you can go into a community like Rose Hill. And the young ladies who might be at home right now listening to this program, that they can be incorporated into a business that is canning fresh produce. Or even that you might have some people that are in St. John right now, which is a fishing community, and that all of the fish, you'd be very surprised to know that Grenada imports millions of dollars in seafood every year. Let me say that again, because some of you might be totally shocked and be doubting what I'm saying. Yeah? Grenada, our country, imports millions of dollars in fish every year. As Grenadians, we have to take stock of this. And when we say we import millions of dollars of fish, it's the type of fish, the tuna.
Yeah.
We importing tuna. Imagine we're catching tuna here. The guys from Petit Martinique, they bad on that. The guys from St. John and St. Andrew, they bad on that. They are catching tunas. But we are importing millions of dollars worth of tuna in cans every year. We are importing things like smoked fish, smoked herring, and so on. We are also importing salted fish. I remember a few years ago, the Southern Fishermen Association, based in Grand Mall, I believe that's where they're based. Yeah. They started a process where they had something called Bacon of the Sea.
Yeah.
Where they were taking the fish and they had smoked fish. And it's not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third time. The problem has always been, we as Grenadians don't support our own. Therefore, there has to be a change in our own mentality from the school system coming up, that we use what we have locally.
Exactly.
So because fish, we don't have to be buying salted fish from anywhere. We ought not to be. Yeah? Because we have the capability, we have the raw material. So we have, even if we want to get salt, we could get salt and we just reactivate some pond and then we getting salt. Yeah? You go back down Point Saline, there we get some salt.
Yep.
It ain't called saline for nothing. But we have the ability to get the salt, we have the ability to have the fish and the other implements into that without sending out foreign exchange, so that money can stay here and provide jobs to the people who provide the salt, to provide jobs to the people who provide the fish, and provide jobs to the people who are also in the system doing the sales, all the different aspects of it. But instead of that, we spend millions of dollars. And when I say we, I'm not speaking of government here, I'm speaking to you that listening.
Yes.
That go to the supermarket and buy the tins of tuna and buy the tins of sardine with some stuff in it that you suspect you ain't too sure what inside there.
And you see, Sheldon, the two, in my view, two key hindrance, right, to that sort of development is one, and we talk about it, the electricity, the cost of electricity, and secondly, our locals. We do not support what we grow.
Exactly.
Right? That is
we see
key.
the Grenadian carrot, we say that too small
that
and
too
maga.
small and maga.
So we go
more
and we buy,
nutritious.
and lots of you, if you take the time, yeah? If you take the time and you leave some of those carrots inside your fridge,
you'll see water.
You realize the carrot and them, something, let me just put it like that.
Right.
It ain't right.
Something ain't right.
You gain some of those tomatoes that might come from overseas, and I don't know why tomatoes coming from anywhere else. Only Grenadian tomatoes should be there. But you realize sometimes when you look at those tomatoes and them, they're staying in your fridge there and they ain't going nowhere.
No.
They're just there. So
Solid.
we have recognized that. So when we speak about creating more job opportunities in the rural communities, that as well is a marriage between agriculture, fisheries, what the NNP has been doing with the energy sector in Grenada to get that electricity price down, yeah? And that can create these opportunities in the quote-unquote, I don't believe anywhere in Grenada is rural anywhere, Yeah, all of Grenada, all of us is the same. So there's no such thing as rural in Grenada. But in our quote-unquote rural communities, to create the opportunities. So as I said, in Rose Hill, could be in Lakabeke in St. Andrew, could be in Pearls in St. Andrew, where we go with the rally on Sunday.
In
St. Mark. It could be in Cloger in St. John, or even Florida in St. John or Central Gov. That you have that facility that's taking the fish and drying the fish and so.
Yep.
So that we shouldn't be not Christmas. Easter is coming up. And there's this tradition of the mackerel and all this kind of thing. So everybody going to be running to get a mackerel and so. Yeah? That has probably been sitting on a shelf for about 5 years in some other country. All it doesn't check the date on some of them thing and them. Check the date on some of them bucket.
And you'll see.
You're getting fish that was caught. The fish was last alive in the year 2015. But you're going and eat it in 2018.
Just like some of the chicken that we import.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and this creates opportunity as well for youth. So when we say reducing youth unemployment, it reduces youth unemployment in the rural communities. So the person that might be earning, let's say they're earning $1,000 and they're living in St. Patrick, but in order to work, they have to come down to St. George. So you realize that they're spending about a third of their salary in transportation alone. About a third of their salary that they're spending in transportation alone. Right? After you're doing that, it is impossible for you to have any savings. It's impossible for you to do anything else. Yeah? It's impossible for you to do anything else. All right? Mr. Technical Man, you train me off. No, leave it alone. You train me off.
No, the station's complaining on one channel.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, sort yourself out there. Yeah, Mr. Technical Man, come and show me off there. No? Yeah. So it is difficult for persons who are working for smaller salaries and are out there in the quote-unquote rural parishes but have to come down to town. Also, when you say create more opportunities in the rural communities, it means things like in tourism, developing nature trails, developing some of the sites that are already in those communities. Yeah? So it might be turtle watching in Lavera and taking a more focused approach to that. It may be having Bathway Beach at a different level that people can go to, although it's already, believe me, it's Bathway Beach is one of the most beautiful beaches in the Caribbean. We just talk about Grand Anse, but we doesn't talk about Bathway. Yeah, but believe me, it's one of the most beautiful in the Caribbean. Because if you see what has passed to beach in some other country, yeah, you must go to some of the other Caribbean country.
That's for real, you know. Seriously.
See what has passed as beach that people leaving all in the States and go to. And then you will be very appreciative of Grand Anse, Bathway, and Paradise beaches.
Yeah, Olivera.
Yeah.
You know, all these beaches.
Beach that we don't rush on. It's beach hunting that them have putting up on brochure and telling people come on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have that. So that when you create these opportunities, the person who wants to sell the spice baskets in the rural community, they don't have to go and work with anybody. Nope. They create their spice baskets and they sell. Yeah? The persons who want to do the nature trail, so they are the ones to bring them on the trail. Those who are developing things like the Sulphur Springs and those kind of things in Clabonne and other, is Clabonne?
Yeah, Clabonne.
Right. And one or two other areas.
Yep. You have one in River Sally.
To make it a holistic and medicinal something. So developing these facilities in the rural communities so that people can then go to these and create finances in those communities. Also, it has always been a difficult thing for people, especially those living along the West Coast, well, those living outside of St. George in general, who are working in the tourist sector. It has always been difficult for them. You see them by various points around the island. You see them standing by Greenbridge area, by Keep Left there. You see them standing there, 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock in the night.
By Decal gas station in Tempe.
Again, trying to get home after a night's work. So it is extremely difficult for them to get from point A to point B. And what it's causing is that they're using up large chunks of the salary that they are getting in transportation alone. So if the opportunities for the hotel sectors can be created in the rural communities, that's why we speak of creating more job opportunities in all rural communities. But you have people fighting against projects like the one going on up in Lavera. But that is going to create an opportunity that the young lady that lives in Hermitage or the one that lives in Riverside doesn't have to get up all ungodly hour of the morning to jump a bus to get down in town by 7:30, or to try and get home in thunder and rain with lightning when it's 12 and 1 in the morning and they down by Green Bridge getting wet. Because some of them, they go in and stand up there even if they're getting wet, because they must get a transport and they can't get it if you can't see them. So they're going there and stand up and they're getting wet and so in the morning just to get, and still have to get down for a specific time. If there's a shift change, they have to reach back down by a certain time the next morning. So outside of the agriculture, outside of the construction, outside of the tourist sector and all of these things, you have to create these opportunities, manufacturing and so on, in the rural communities, so people don't have to leave far from home to go to work. Yeah? So when the New National Party speaks of plans for the economy, we are not just saying, okay, we're going to grow the economy. We're telling you how we're going to grow the economy. Yeah? We're telling you how we're going to grow the economy.
Well, I'm not just telling, but we have been showing them in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? The New National
Show
Party.
and tell.
You understand? Show, and I mean, and we tell you and then we show you. That's the thing. So it's a continuation of what has been going on in the last 5 years. You talk about progress, people didn't see nothing yet. There is a plan. The manifesto outlines, right, where we are, where this country came from after 2013, right, and where we're going now. Continue moving after March 13th. I mean, that's the people of Grenada. I mean, they are buying into what the New National Party have set out, right, for Grenada.
Yeah. And continuing on the economy, it says continued attraction of significant domestic, regional and international investment in our priority sectors. As you would know, there are lots of persons with locally who have money that have started the process of investing in the local economy. So it's not just get somebody from another country to come in and invest, but getting the people who have the liquid cash here in Grenada to invest as well. That's why you've seen the Spiceland Mall, for instance, has expanded. And I mean, they expand. And as soon as they finish in, you realize that nearly every space is taken. Well, in fact, not nearly, all are already taken up. Yeah? And you see other businesses and so going the same direction and expanding, creating opportunity or starting new businesses. One of the things Bill Gates has is Bill Gates doesn't only have Microsoft. It's not one company he has. He has actually about 7. Yeah? The main company is that one that makes how much $1 million every hour. But the other companies are other companies that also make millions of dollars a year that he's running. So he doesn't say, okay, I put all my eggs in one basket. He has other businesses running. So in case, as unlikely as it may seem, because bigger have fallen, as likely as it may seem that his main company may fail, if that fails, he has backups.
Yeah.
And not one backup, he has other backups.
Lots of backups.
And not businesses that are totally dependent on the main company, but businesses that can exist on their own without that company being around. Yeah? So continuing to attract significant domestic, regional and international investment in our priority sectors. So that's tourism, agriculture, information, communication, technology, which is something, I don't think we should touch that one today.
No, that's a big
one.
That
one we need a special program for that one. Yeah. It also says here, full implementation of the fiscal incentives regime. So full implementation of the fiscal incentives regime. That means that you're going to give incentives to persons to spend their money here. Yeah? You're going to provide incentives, right, for persons to spend their money here, whether it's tax breaks, whether it's concessions or so, because at the end of the day, you may give a man a tax break of 5% on something. So you might be losing over a period of, let's say, 10 years, you might lose $10 million. But by that person being here, you've made 200 million.
You ain't losing.
So what sense did it make to not give them the 5% tax break, where you're only losing 10 million over 10 years, when they're bringing in $200 million into your country?
Plus, and the whole question of employment.
Yeah.
Creating employment and so sustainability for your people. So what is that 5-10% that you give them up front? Because you know in the next 5-10 years you make millions more. And that's just the way to go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean I can understand in between 2008 and 2013 there was a finance minister and minister responsible for planning and so. And look at the mess. Look at where Grenada was at by the time February of 2013. You understand? But when that rescue mission was launched, I mean, the support of everyone. When I say everyone, when Dr. Mitchell made that call for all to come on board, I mean, it was a resounding response by everyone.
And it seems as though the opposition forces, they've been speaking about, the incentives and so that are being given to different companies. But let's just give you a story. La Source, the original owners of La Source approached then Finance Minister Nazim Burke and the NDC administration asking for various concessions for the facility to remain Grenadian owned, for them to be able to expand, refurbish and add new facilities. So they approached the government and asked for some concessions and so on. Well, they didn't get it. But we know that another company, and no one is against the company, you come and you get a fish head socket. So they came, they approached the same NDC administration, and they got the concessions that La Source, the Grenadians, were asking for, and more.
And more.
And more. And let's see.
So it's like
Sandals La Source. Here's what they received there. And I want you all to, anytime the NDCI is talking about giving away and all this kind of thing, because what is being done here, this is what NDC gave. 29 years waiver on corporate taxes. So they pay no corporate taxes for 29 years. 25-year waiver on property taxes. So they pay no property taxes for 25 years.
So hold on, Ishira. Take a pen. When you say corporate taxes, right? So that explain it to persons outside the...
Well, all of the taxes in relation to the business itself, they don't pay that. Well, let's go down the line first. Hold on. 25-year waiver of customs duties on capital goods. Right? So in other words, if they're bringing in certain things where I might have to pay custom duties because I pass it through customs, I have different fees and so I have to pay. You might have to pay it. Sandals doesn't have to pay. This is what Nazim Burke gave to them. 25-year waiver of customs duties on consumables. So that's if they decide that they're bringing in this stuff like their toilet paper,
agricultural produce.
Even if it's agricultural produce and so, which I believe should have been, I believe when you're doing deals like this, that companies must not be allowed to bring in agricultural produce unless that it's available or not available, right? Yeah, they also have a 15-year waiver on value-added tax. So when they give you a drink at that facility, remember, they're not paying VAT on it. You're not paying VAT on it, they're not paying VAT on it.
Wow. So
they have a 15-year waiver on value-added tax, on VAT. Right? Now, I mean, these are the same people that are talking about, giving away, and concessions. But remember, La Source asked for less than that, the original owners of La Source. Yeah? So when you're speaking about fiscal incentives regime, you're speaking of these same concessions on things like the corporate tax, yeah? On the property taxes and so, concessions on these things as well to encourage companies to want to come into Grenada. In fact, after they got that deal here in Grenada, when sandals go to other countries now, they go to other countries and they're renegotiating, They say, we get too much of a sweet deal in Grenada, man. Well, all you give us is next to nothing. All you have to fix that or we pulling out. You understand? So that is what is taking place with that particular one. We're going to take your calls in a short while because it's now 11 o'clock. Continued investment in infrastructure, including in ICT, interwoven in every sector of the economy. Yeah, and I think that one is straightforward. Continued investment in infrastructure to include ICT. Yeah, and even when we speak about infrastructure, when you were hearing the presentation being made by Honorable Emlyn Pear, she spoke of the fact that many buildings in Grenada are not disabled friendly. So that differently abled people, people with vision problems, people with mobility problems who may be using a wheelchair or one of the motorized chairs or so on, people who may have hearing problems and different things like that, that buildings generally in Grenada as it is right now are not accessible, are not easily accessible to these people. Yeah? And that is something that the new National Party, return to office next week, will be addressing as well. Yeah? For instance, in some countries when you're going around, you see a number on a building, but below it they have the braille.
Yeah.
So that a person who cannot see, they can feel and they know, okay, I'm at the right building. This is the building, such and such a building on such and such a street. Or they may have the braille on specific points around so that a person who is walking through and they touch, they can tell exactly where they are without needing the assistance of someone else. Yeah? So some of those things, those are just some of the things that are included in the manifesto of the new National Party. We're going to start to take your calls. We know many of you, yeah, boy, people might be tired, but I ain't lying. Tantine had people yesterday, you know. Tantine had real people yesterday. So you know some of you may be tired. But let's go to the phone line and hear what's going on.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning.
Well, you need to speak up for us a bit.
Hello?
Yeah,
you
you
hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday I was listening to a program. It wasn't a political program. And some Mr. Campbell, I don't know what Campbell, I can't remember. He was talking about MARIP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So he was talking about MARIP. And he was saying in 2013, the program was about to be closed down. And then when the NNP came into office, they were allowed to, to continue the program for a while. And to date, it is a great success. I just thought I'd say that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes. I would suspect it would be Mr. Byron Campbell.
Yeah,
who's
who's
the one
in charge of
of
MARIP.
MARIP.
And MARIP is just about to wrap up. But that won't be the end of MARIP,
Nope.
because that will be the end of this phase. In other words, you receive funding for these programs from be it the Caribbean Development Bank, the World Bank, or other agencies, and it's for a specific period. So it can be for a 5-year period, a 10-year period, whatever. And towards the end of that, you submit your reports and you could receive funding to reactivate. And I believe that has already taken place with MARIP.
Yes, I understand it. It just
so
would
this
be a
phase,
rollover, basically,
yeah,
of what is going on.
Remember, we also had a situation on coming into office where we were about to lose significant amounts of funding under the BNTF.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're going into BNTF 6. I know my partner Devon will call in a while. BNTF 6, which is going to provide funding for things under the water program, for instance, to remove pit latrines in rural communities.
In rural communities.
Yeah, several. Okay, we lost that one.
And that is very, very important for our people, especially in rural communities, right, where the accessibility to a lot of things, the water, right, and hence once the water is brought there, then the ability to access toilets and bathroom into your home, and the government, right, through the different programs, like for example BNTF and so has been spearheading these social programs to ensure people receive that.
Yes, indeed. 4407377. Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello?
Good
Hi,
morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, caller. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, caller. You're alive. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Sheldon, morning. You know what I observed on Saturday almost after midday in Grenville? I see this big truck dressed up in all yellow and DJ on top it. Because we're in Lenten season, and singing this vulgar calypso coming up, and they know that's Lenten season. I mean, if they have to do that, all right, and that truck, the person featuring that truck is Nazim Buck, the leader of the NDC, Peter. So I want to call in churches to because he must know that this is Lenten season, and I want to know that if really he really believes in God or not. I don't know. You understand? I don't know.
All right. Okay, brother. Hey, Devon, we'll come back to the manifesto in a while, but an interesting one. There was a sports meet in St. Andrew, I believe it's at the Progress Park or Victoria Park. And the NDC candidates were out there giving out bands to children.
Yeah, on Thursday. My daughter told me that. It was SAS Sports. Right? And she said that
that's not the same people accused us of bouncing castle in 2013.
Exactly. She told me that there were NDC activists in the sports giving out handbands and so forth to the children. I mean, how despicable that could be.
Yeah, it's desperate.
Leave the children alone.
We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Let me make sure this one is on. Yeah, it's on.
Good morning.
They're not
hearing us.
I think that person on the overseas line may have had a problem there. Everything is in order, I can tell you that.
Yeah, so I mean, what is the real thing? Again, and as we say, we have alerted you of the psychological warfare that is raging by the NDC.
Here's another one they used. Now, they flew a drone. We know they like drone right now because they Mako. So they flew a drone over, I did say the Mako, They flew a drone over the NNP's rally last night when it finished. So when people have started to vacate, because if you look, you realize that the stage where the candidates are supposed to be is empty. There's nobody there. Yeah. And you realize that there is a bunch of people at the gate trying to get out. And they post that photo trying to say that the NNP had no people in this stuff. I mean, that's just desperation, but we understand psychological warfare, scampish behavior. As they said, nothing is wrong with being scampish for them. And so nothing is wrong. That's why I'm very interested in seeing who the agents are on election day for the NDC.
Yeah, we've been watching them very closely.
Because if I call them a scam, they can't say nothing.
Yeah, they can't say nothing because that's who they train to put there.
They say it's only scam they put in them place.
You understand? To be dishonest, right? To slow it to hell down. We're going to be looking at every one of you because that is the training that you guys have got.
That's the training they give.
You understand? To create havoc and disturbance on the election day. And we're going to be paying particular attention to you guys.
Yeah, we have a caller again.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Morning. Yes, go right ahead, caller. You're live. Go right ahead, caller. You're live.
Good morning, Devon. Good morning, Sheldon.
Yes, my friend.
I want to say yesterday was excellent there wonderfully. And the people of NNP they came out in their numbers to hear the plans and the program that of the NNP government for the next term in government. And Brother Sheldon, I want to say, NNP is a party that love people, they care about people. And I remember in 2008, in 2013, you have a wolf who was allowed to trade, who NDC tried also allow to make people suffer, and that was for Grindberg. Right? You have the Minister of Finance, Nazenberg, and the Prime Minister, Timon Thomas. Grindberg will file a case against the Granian government, the Granian people. I have Nazenberg, Minister of Finance, said he would not file no defense to defend Granian name. Right? They will not file, but you look at the NMP who was in opposition at the time, right? Because they care and they love for people, and they don't want to see the grandchildren, our children or great grandchildren, how to pay grand, right? NMP in opposition they came and they filed a defense. They get the lawyers to go up and to defend Grenada good name, and when the Grenada win the case, and this is the rejoicing Grenada win, right? And brother, I say that to say to the Grenada people. NDC, they say they care, but they don't care about nobody. Right? And I remember when we reading the Bible, we have in John 10, John 10, 11, 12 to 13 said, NDC like a hailing. Right? They pretend to love people. Right? But when they see the wolf come in, they leave the people and they flee for their life. So they leave the wolf to come and eat all the people. But thanks to NMP in opposition that came to rescue the people greater from the hands of NDC, right? Because you see, NMP know definitely the people couldn't go through that, right? Because you know that what Grandma was planning was like a plot
right, to suffer, to make people suffer. Right? But I always say NMP is there, and we want the great people to remember the party who love them, and the one who demonstrates that love is NMP. Not NDC. They speak, they tackle love, but they don't love. NMP, they love, and they tackle love, and they demonstrate that love and care to one another. In opposition, I said earlier, in 2000, the NMP love and they care. They demonstrate the care to all. I would say to the greater people, go out and vote for the party that care and love them. Not a party who only tackle love, and they demonstrate hate. Love who love. Guys say, yeah, I love the sinner, but I hate the thing that the sinner committed. We love the people of NDC, but the thing that they're doing, we don't love it. Right? And a Ghanaian, a patriot, we should do things to help develop one another, not to pull and to destroy. Brother Sheldon Devon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
All right, thank you.
Friend.
Yes, indeed. And folks, we're going to try this week, probably tomorrow or so, to get on with us again, the Parliamentary Electoral Office, just to go over everything for the polling days. We know the police will be going to the polls this week on Friday, and everybody else, Tutmun Bagay, everybody else, all of us, right, will be going to the polls on Tuesday. All right. Nice.
One of the things that you're talking about, the police going to vote, and help me shed some light on it. I think most of where the policemen will be voting is in the different parliamentary elections office around the island, right? Because of the amount of them that is there. Because in one constituency you may only find sometime 100, perhaps less than that, police officers within a particular.
I think the best thing to do is for us to get the Parliamentary Electoral Office to come on and give us that information. Also, we need to get some information on the changed polling stations, the polling stations that have been changed. So I will give a call to them after today's program and see if we can get them on for tomorrow so that we can ask them some questions about that. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Morning.
Boy, I thought you've been there.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
I have a question for you, Sheldon. Morning, Devon.
Morning, sir.
Sheldon, was there any, when was the structural adjustment program established? What year?
Let me see if I can remember correctly. I think it was 2013, yeah?
There was a structural adjustment in 2013?
If I remember correctly, I think certain aspects of it started in 2013. It's a process. So some of it started in 2013 and the rest in 2014.
Wasn't a homegrown program?
Yes, it was developed locally.
Okay.
It was approved by the IMF and so on, because if you want to get buy-in from different agencies, you have to get the IMF approval and so on the program. But it's not a program that the IMF created and gave to Grenada. It's a program that Grenada created and gave to the IMF. And they would have said, okay, this, because, for instance, they made a suggestion to Grenada that the NNP government send home 2,000 workers. Send them home, fire them, send them home. And by doing that, would reduce the monthly expenditure that government has, would reduce the amount of money in relation to salaries and so on. NNP said, no, not going to do that. Refused to do it. Barbados, when they did their program, did it. Other countries did it. They sent home people. Trinidad is doing it. But Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the new National Party administration said, no, we are not going to send home a single worker. And we kept that promise. So it's a homegrown program. If it was an IMF program and they say do that, you have to do it. But they made that suggestion to the NNP and we said no, because our program, we would get the GDP down, the GDP ratio down, without sending home a single worker. And set a target, I can't remember the target that was set, but we've actually surpassed the target that was set.
Okay. You are speaking on the end. People need to get explanation. The program was designed to do for the benefit of the Grenadian people.
I haven't heard what you said.
What the program was designed to do for the benefit of the Grenadian people?
Well, what it was meant to do is give government more fiscal space so that more money can be spent in various productive areas rather than simply repaying debt.
Okay.
Yeah? So that by reducing the debt and reducing the amount of payments that you have on a monthly basis going towards the debt, you would be able to have more money to spend on roads and on agriculture, on education, and on those different areas. For instance, you could be able to provide pumps for farmers who are having problems as we're heading to the dry season, all the rain falling every day. that might need pumps to provide water for their fields and irrigation systems.
Yeah.
You might be able to assist fishermen with safety equipment for when they're going out to sea, so that they would be able to stay safe, or in case anything happens, they could contact land that you get them, or provide some additional scholarships for young persons who are in homes where they're brilliant, but their parents just cannot afford to send them to university. So it is reducing the amount of money that you're going to be spending on debt and that sort of area, and being able to increase the money, have more cash that you can spend on these other areas that are critical to national development.
So isn't that a good thing for the country and people?
Yes, and Nazimberg knows that because he did sign with the IMF to go into a structural adjustment program while Minister of Finance, but when the upheaval began taking place in the NDC, he backtracked on it. And the IMF, in one of their reports that you can see on imf.org, you can go to the IMF website, imf.org, you can go there and you will see where they said that he went back on his promise for signing to go into a structural adjustment program. He knew then, as he knows now, that a structural adjustment program was necessary to set Grenada on the right track. But he saw politics and his own political future. He said, if we go into a structural adjustment program, they're going to lose election. Although they lose it anyway.
Well, they're going about saying this is a bad thing and Kit Mitchell should remove it. But why should he remove a good thing like that will benefit the country and people? I mean, why?
Let me put it to you another way. On coming into office in 2013, we met a situation where government was spending $18 more than it was making every month. $18 more. So every time you make money, you had to still find $18 on top of that to be able to pay what you had to pay on a monthly basis. Now, government could have said, to reduce that $18 more, let's take the IMF advice and send home 2,000 workers. It would have reduced it significantly too. It would have reduced it by a significant margin. Government said, no, we'll retain those people because they are contributing back to the economy.
Exactly.
When they get paid, they pay VAT on different things that they buy, although under the NNP they don't pay VAT on things when people die. They pay when they buy, but they don't pay when they die. So they pay different taxes and so on. And it assists the economy by having these people working instead of having them on the breadline.
Of course, and who doesn't like that?
Exactly. So the approach that the NNP took was totally different to ensure that we got that $18 million down. Here's what we did. Change your telecommunication provider. So instead of going with one, went with a cheaper service provider that saved millions of dollars every year.
Right.
Reduce electricity usage that again saved millions of dollars in the period of time. So all of that got to reducing the $18. Things like before you're sending something around a ministry, they would print out how much copies. If you have 200 people in the ministry, they print 200 copies, no matter how much pages, and pass it out. Now we're saying instead of doing that, send an email. So it reduced the amount of paper.
That's cheaper, yeah.
Yeah, because if you check the budgetary allowances for various ministries, they're spending $0.1 million on stationery alone in some instances.
Wow.
$0.1 million. So to reduce all of that is why things like send an email instead. The GPS systems that were put on government vehicles that helped reduce the amount of gas that was being used significantly.
Well, I opened up that room this morning because I know you have the goods to deliver.
No,
so
that's no problem.
I know the critics are listening, so I hope they're listening to you, and I hope they have the good common sense to put one and two together. What I want to say, Sheldon, we have a few more days for election. And I want the Grenadian people to remember what they went through from 2008 to 2013. This was the hardest time I ever passed through under our government. And you remember when you had some people, when they come for the little thing at the end of the month from government, before the day passed, he gone back in the treasury, and some of them never got it again. People cry, children cry, parents cry, everybody under this regime. We ain't going back there. We ain't going back there. But I want the Grenadian people to remember what they've been through from 2008 to 2013. It was the hardest time in our lives, and we don't going back there. I ain't saying we want to go back there. I'm saying we're not going back there. So at the end of the day, I asking Grenadians to remember what they went through and vote sensibly. Have a nice day, partner.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Imagine that was the situation we met.
Yeah.
So we could have found different ways to reduce that. You could have said, okay, we're going to chop all social programs. That would have reduced the 18. You could have said you're going to chop all social programs. Stop doing things like the seed and the other programs, even though you receive counterpart funding on those. Cut them. Drop all of that. You could have said that you're going to send home the workers. You could have said that there were different things that could have been done. But government took a proactive approach that, one, would save the country money, but two, would not send workers home. Yeah?
And significantly too, during that period, I mean, look at how the workers of our country was treated by this government.
Yeah, they were still able to get over $100 million
over
in benefits.
$100 million in benefits. Right, the regularization of hundreds of workers within the public sector. All of this was done under a homegrown structural adjustment program.
Yes, indeed.
Proper planning. That is the way we need to go and continuing to go for the future.
All right, great. 440-7377. Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Sheldon.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
Quite fine.
All right. Well, I see the weekend was good by you. Oh, Lord, boy.
Yeah, massive turnout.
Yes, yes. But what I want to tell you, Sheldon.
Yeah, go ahead. Pay attention to the phone.
All right.
Yeah, forget the radio.
Yeah. Because what really are hearing the NDC people and them saying is what they is what they saying that how they release the eligible people getting. Right, the $200 what they get in. If they win, they will not get it again, and also the children. So I don't know what's going on. We just have to stick and listen. Hear what's going on. All right?
Okay, my dear.
Okay.
All right.
Beautiful. Yes, let's go to the other phone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Hello? I think we have to change our system with the overseas calls because it doesn't seem as though we're picking up the overseas calls. Yeah, it doesn't seem as though we're picking up the overseas calls. 440-7377. Somebody else call us on the overseas line. Let's see if we can get through with that. Folks, remember, all roads lead to Pearls this Sunday. Yeah, we're heading to Pearls this Sunday. Nice? Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going up in Pearls.
Massive.
All right?
Meeting.
Nice. Tonight, for those of you in St. David, Pedmata Junction. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside. We have a call online. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yes. And the public. What happened in 2008 when the NDC had won the election? They had implemented VAT, value added tax. In 2011, that was February month,
first.
2010, I believe it was actually. But go right ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in 4 months, which was May, they was on the radio ranting and raving and boasting that they had made millions of dollars, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
From May 2011, I think, or 10, as you say. And from since then to now, you never heard nothing about the money they had made. You understand?
Instead, you had problems to pay public workers.
Yeah. And they couldn't pay salary at the end of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it?
Yeah.
So where all this money they was boasting and ring and ranting about, where all the money had gone at the time? You understand my point?
That's a good
and
question.
Today they are complaining that you all are taxing the people too much. That's what they're using on the campaign, too much taxes. But I have done economics and I never heard of 36 taxes in the book. Are there any 36 taxes, Sheldon?
It's a figment of the imagination of the National Democratic Congress. Let me put it to you like this. Ask a busman if he is paying 36 taxes, and he can't tell you yes. He can't. In fact, the most tax that he pays is VAT, and VAT was implemented by the NDC.
Not his duties. It's also duties. You know what?
It depends on, you see, the thing is, they're trying to make it look like every single Grenadian is paying 30-something new taxes, when the taxes that were put in place are specific towards the larger sector. When I say the larger, the people who have the larger incomes. For instance, one that was passed is a percentage of the earnings on all people who have properties that are bringing in over $10,000 a month. So in other words, the guest houses, hotels already paid, right? Hotels already have to pay a percentage on their income. Now the guest houses were not doing so. And people who are renting properties were not paying on that rental, even though they were sometimes making as much, and in a few instances more, than some of the smaller hotels. So what was put in place was basically a tax on over $10,000. Once you're earning over $10,000 at rental properties and so on, that you pay something on that. That is not the average poor man on the street that has... Which poor man on the street have property bringing in $10,000 a month? Which poor man on the street has bought a yacht or a high-end car and therefore has to pay that luxury tax? Or is a lawyer or a doctor and therefore has to go... Okay, the caller is gone. Or a lawyer or a doctor and therefore has to go and pay the additional fees. Yeah? That's the kind of thing. They're trying to make you think that you have to pay the lawyer fee, you have to pay the doctor fee, you have to pay the $10,000, you have to pay for a yacht. So when they start talking about 36 taxes, ask yourselves how much of the so-called 36, because it's not 36, they ain't 20, but the so-called 36 that you as an individual find yourself having to pay, or that directly affects you.
Yeah. That should be the question.
One thing though, we never tax the dead.
No. Oh God. Lord have his mercy.
We never tax the dead. All right, we sure on that.
A government that tax the dead is a government that is doomed to failure.
Yeah. People and them,
I mean, come on. That is beyond, I mean, I don't know. Oh, by the way, two of the meetings this afternoon in St. Andrews Southwest, Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford will be in Harford Village at the community center at 7 p.m. today. Right, 7 p.m. today, Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford and her team, right, is in Harford Village by the community center, 7 o'clock. Also to St. Andrews Northwest, Honorable Delma Thomas is in Paradise, close to Boy Shop. Okay? That's at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
St. George Southeast, they're in Paddock. So Brother Gregory Bowen, his meeting is 6 p.m. in Paddock this afternoon. St. David, I mentioned that one earlier, in Pedmota Junction. All right, so Brother Ollie and the new National Party team, they'll be in Pedmota Junction for 7 p.m. And St. Patrick East, they have a block session. That's in River Sally Junction by Lyndon's Bar area there.
Yep.
Nice. They have a little session there later. All right, so those of you in St. Patrick East, That's Sister Pamela Moses.
Yep.
She has that session there, that youth block session in River Sally, on the junction by Lyndon's Bar.
Yep.
All right, folks? Yeah, so looking forward to seeing you at all of them. And remember, Pearls on Sunday.
Yes.
Pearls
all
on
roads
Sunday.
lead to Pearls.
Pearls on Sunday. Right.
Sunday. Hey, and to the people of Carriacou, right? To all NNPites, to all the voters in Carriacou, right? Persons in Carriacou, pay attention. Pay attention to some of the propaganda, right? And lies that is laid against Kendra Matthew Strout, right? We're going to deal with that when we come back. Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Hello. Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, Nanny.
I don't make me and you not friend. Me and you not friend.
Nanny, don't gosh. Me and you could never stop being friends.
Me, I don't want to friend again.
Oh, Nanny.
You know.
I'm feeling sad day.
Yes, don't worry about that. Brother.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want me any and them around me to hear what I'm telling you.
Okay.
How I could go and vote?
Oh, you go and put it in?
Uh-huh.
I go organize for you.
I don't want nobody come and raise me, you know.
No. I will have my people come and get you. You know, last time we organized. So this time I go organize again.
Well, brother.
Me and the lady go talk as soon as I come off air.
Who lady?
Me and the lady for up there. The nice lady.
Eh?
The nice lady that you have up there. We don't want to talk with all we business on radio, but I go make sure she come for you.
And watch. The lady that put the bottle below the bridge.
Nanny, behave yourself, eh?
No,
Nanny.
No, brother, that's a yeah.
Eh?
Below Paradise Bridge. She put a pink bottle.
A pink bottle?
Yes, below the bridge there. What, brother? What they go there and do? To see the bottle?
I don't know about that, but I can tell you the battle is strong. But here's what. I'm going to make sure, because we know where you are, and I'm going to ensure that she gets her people to check you next week Tuesday, bright and early, and bring you in. And the thing is, because of your age and so on, and we love you so much, you don't have to stay in no line, eh? When they bring you straight in, you do your thing and straight back out.
Well, I could stay in, I could stand up then.
I don't want you in no line. You're going straight inside, you do your thing, you look for the house, you do your thing, and you're back outside.
You don't know about stroke then.
I know, that's why I tell you, you don't have to stay in any line. They're going to bring you directly in and bring you out.
Eh?
Yeah, because I know the situation, that's why I'm saying that.
But me children.
Don't worry, we go organize. No one can deny you the right to cast your ballot on election day. Not even your children. All right?
Yeah.
So keep in contact with me. All right, Nanny?
With you?
Yes, my love.
Let me tell you something. Enter here. Now the government go give us $300 after the election.
Well, Prime Minister did say that once the fiscal space allows, he will do it then. It will be done. But the time frame he gave to do it was dependent on how the finances look at that point in time. It will be done. You will get it.
Yes.
But if it's done on that specific time, will be dependent on how finances look at that time.
Yes, brother. That is it.
All right, my love.
Okay.
So we're going to talk.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Nice.
Sheldon, just a correction there from the persons from St. Andrews Southwest. The meeting at Harford Village is tomorrow evening. That's Tuesday, right? And not today, 7 p.m. Okay? Harford Village, St. Andrews Southwest, Honorable Yolan B. in Horsford. The meeting is tomorrow, right? At the Harford Village Community Center, 7 p.m. Okay? And they apologize for any, misinformation and so. So take note of that. Yes, Sheldon, and again, good morning to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. All right, Sheldon, over the last couple of weeks, you have seen an attack, a vicious attack on the candidate in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And you understand, Kendra Matthew Strout. So many things have been said about her, and so. But we just want to let the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique know. You know your candidate. You know what she's capable of. You know she's capable, she's competent, and she's the best choice. Make no mistake about that. Forget about the rest, right? They're only there to talk, And so we need action. We need somebody. We need young person who can deliver. And Kindra Matthew Stewart is the exact person for Carriacou and PT Martinique. NNPites, you know where to put that X.
Yes,
Okay?
indeed. 440-7377. And we have told you to expect this sort of thing.
Yep.
We've been saying it to you. We said, one, expect WRB to take government to court anytime that you heard elections announced. We said that between the date of an election being announced and the election date, we said to you, expect WRB to take the government of Grenada to court. Yeah, because here's another one. There's some people claiming that NNP take off station and all kind of thing.
Yeah.
Strange enough, there seems to always be a blackout or a power surge when certain things taking place. So the morning after the announcement of the date, came to do hard talk, power gone up in the transmitters, flips. During the manifesto launch on Friday, flips,
Same thing.
power gone again to the different stations and so. And with that, with the constant cutting off of power and fluctuation in power, it caused a couple transmitters to be damaged up there. So a particular station off air, but they're all over the place trying to say NNP shut them down. Also, the airport authority is putting a particular system in place for them to be able to connect with the aircraft that are coming into Grenada. They need to be able to radio them and so on. So they're putting in a stronger system, a different system. So they wrote to all the radio stations saying how they want to do this and where they want to turn it on and so on and so on and so on. All of a sudden I see certain people saying that NNP take off the radio station and NNP this and NNP that and all this kind of thing. It has nothing to do with the new national party. Yeah, if you owe the NTRC and AMP the NTRC go do what they have to do. Whenever they do their business. Yeah? Nice. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside of this morning's program. Yeah? So one of the things that I think you all need to know about polling days. Now, if a person is visually impaired, and it was said by the representative from the Parliamentary Electoral Office, that person can ask the registration officer, the returning officer, to cast their ballot for them. So the representatives of the different political parties will be present when this visually impaired person says to the returning officer, I would like to cast my ballot this way, that way. Those persons, though, cannot come out and say how that person cast their ballot, or they can be arrested. Yep. Yeah, they can be arrested for divulging that information. It is done in secret. Yeah, so they enter, and that person or the person can walk with somebody that they trust. Yeah, who in the presence of the returning officer and so can say, look, this is how I want you to place the X for me. Put the X by this party. I'm supporting this person. Put it there, and that person's ballot will then be entered, and the process continues with them putting their finger and so on. For people who may have mobility issues, you have medical conditions that cause you not to be able to stand up in the line for a long period of time, or the aged persons and so on, they are allowed to be expedited through. They can go straight through. Yeah? They can go straight through. They are allowed to cast their ballot and leave. No dilly-dally. Once you cast your ballot, leave. All right? So that is what is being allowed there. All right? Somebody's trying to get my attention. What? So yeah. Somebody wants my attention.
Somebody is trying to get your attention, you know, Sheldon.
Yeah. Too bad. Yeah. Somebody wants my attention.
Spoiled child.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things again I've been continuing saying. This is the time when these guys are beginning to become more desperate. We have seen the techniques, we have seen the training of their persons, right, for the different polling division. They have given them techniques of how to slow it to hell down, right? How to be ratchety, how to be all sorts of things, try to interrupt the election. Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good day, Brother Scott.
Hi, good day.
Yeah, just calling for the program.
Yes, sir, you're live. Go right ahead.
I want to know, how serious could these guys be talking about healthcare, for example? And based on what they put out as a manifesto, for health care. The first bullet establish a national health insurance scheme in consultation with stakeholders and the National Health Fund. That already is ongoing. Construct a new modern state-of-the-art public hospital with teaching facilities. Again, that already, well, it seemed like they forget that they had abandoned phase 2 of the hospital project, but that is already up and running. Maybe you need to send them a couple of pictures. Upgrade Princess Royal and Princess Alice hospitals. It seems like them guys and them, they're spinning top, but they're really not in touch. The Princess Alice Smart Hospital project is ongoing. It was this government who installed X-ray, as you know, and ultrasound at Princess Alice.
Including a mobile ultrasound, they could move to different parts of the hospital.
Now, Princess Royal also is on the books getting its fair share from the Smart Hospital project. Them guys talk about dialysis. It was this government who introduced peritoneal dialysis, and the minister himself has also reached out to Trinidad, and there is hemodialysis now at the General Hospital. I see they talk about rationalize all health care facilities to improve quality. Well, something is wrong. They're not paying attention to what is going on. And provide full-time employment for registered nurses. They were the ones who had sent home the nurses, in case they forget.
But my brother, before you even go further, you find they should shame to say some of them things?
But they should be.
They should put their head in a crocker's bag and tie a string around the neck before they come and say any of them kind of thing.
And talking about SU, those guys gave SU so much pressure. I remember hearing the Chancellor himself saying that whenever he works with Dr. Mitchell, they get things done faster and better. The oxygen plant at the hospital, in case they forget, it was this government who installed it after this government came and approached the issue seriously with SGU. And they're talking about always having a doctor available at Princess Alice. Well, for the information, the doctor is always there. There is also a doctor spotters at Princess Alice. Yeah. So I don't know who they trying and fool, but this thing in flying is not going to work. I am very, very sorry. They talk about healthcare. They spend $44,000 to demolish the health center in Guelph. Thousands to rent a facility from their friends where only doctor services are provided. They sold the doctor's quarters. You so much care about healthcare and you sell the doctor's quarters where the doctor have to live to give services to the people of St. John. Something is terribly wrong with these people.
Putting people last.
That's right. Okay, brother.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what they're all about. Putting people, the poor and vulnerable, last. Understand? How can you deny, right, the average person from St. John's and St. Mark's proper health facilities? How can you do that in good conscience?
And it's now 45 minutes after the hour of 11 o'clock. I didn't want to get into another aspect of the manifesto because I think we have a few days.
Yes.
On Friday, folks, we'll be having a gospel program on Friday. We will be having a program Friday, but it will be a gospel program on Friday. Just announcing that now because it's a polling day, so you won't hear us talking about the politics or anything like that. It is a polling day. It would be illegal for us to do any kind of campaigning. And just to safeguard us, I don't even think we might open the phone lines. Might take text messages, WhatsApp messages, and on the live, because if we go and we open the phone lines and one of them decide they want to mess us up, they call in and they say, vote NNP.
Exactly.
You understand? And then we are the ones that end up in problems. So we're not even going to open the phone lines on Friday. We're telling you from now so you know what to expect. I know we will be having a very special guest in with us this week. On Hard Talk, we will be having a very special guest in with us this week on Hard Talk. I will not say exactly who the individual is, but they will be in with us on Hard Talk this week. All right? 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. We have roughly 15 minutes remaining on today's program.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, yesterday, last night to be exact, when we came from our rally at Tantin, coming to Grenville, through Grenville Province Park, where NDC held a rally as well.
Yeah.
On our bus, traveling to the north direction, the police was directing the traffic there because it was a little bit up and down because NDC had a rally there as well. A gentleman with a glass of water just ran and pelted in the bus in which we were in and literally wet down a young lady sitting to the window. What happened? The bus had a music playing. You can't sit down from where we came from. They play the music. Matter of fact, that's the music they played through the whole road. Repeatedly playing, and the people were singing in the bus. The guy took the glass of water and just wet down the young lady and tell him why they just shut the mouth with his obscenities he used. But happily, there was the next NDC guy sitting there, an elderly person, call out to him and ask him, what you doing that for? What the people do you? Why you doing that for? And he continued walking me and the bus want to throw another glass of water to the bus again. But by the guy calling to him, he sees a bit, but the police are a little in front, trying to direct the traffic. We couldn't get his attention to exactly attend to the matter immediately because we was trying to get the police to really look at the situation because, somebody in a bus, you have a glass of water, you just come and you just splash it in the person's face, sitting in the bus, traveling on the road, and tell them what they just shut the whatever mouth they and walking to looking to place another glass of water again at the bus wherever you get wet, You understand what really happening when it comes to the desperation of these guys and them?
But what I'd say is this, my brother. What has happened there is termed assault. A person cannot walk up on you and throw water on you. Yeah? That is assault. And if
there's a bit lower, I really don't hear you clearly.
Yeah, I'm hoping that someone on the bus can identify the individual.
Well, yes.
That you all had presence of mind to photograph or videotape the individual. Anytime those sort of things, I want NNP people to get with it. When these things happening, don't just stay in the moment, but start using your phones and tape it.
Yeah, because it happened in such a way that we was traveling, not even having this idea something like that would happen. Because you're on the road moving, it was a bit slow anyway because the traffic was trying to have a mix up and down. The police was trying to get it straight. And we was just traveling slowly. And here comes this man just come with a glass of water and just splash it in the bus. And there was a girl right in the window, soak her down and ask them why they just shut them out, whatever word they use, and trying to shut the people down from singing. They wasn't interfering with anybody. They was just in the bus, the music playing, and they just having a good time coming home. You understand what really going on?
All right.
Okay, boss.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah.
Now, let's just make sure that people understand. You cannot just throw water. And you remember when some of you were saying, if NDC mash your yard, you're going to throw things on them, and I keep saying, don't do it. That is how a responsible organization, and I know that many people who you don't see going to political rallies, who you don't hear calling programs and talking politics, who you don't see out in the road canvassing or in arguments about politics, I know that they are horrified that the NDC is encouraging such behavior, that Nazim Burke, the political leader of the NDC, and the entire NDC organization leadership, that they are encouraging that type of behavior. They are encouraging hate by their leaders. Their leaders are encouraging hate. Yeah? All I want to tell all you is this. Don't ever make the one thing at all. If you dream, you do it. Wake up, find the number, and call and say sorry. Don't ever try that kind of thing with Devon Romain. Right. Telling all you.
Yeah, because it's so watch. And one of the things that we keep saying, that method of intimidation, right, by the NDC leadership and passing on to their supporters, right, intimidation. They are trying their best.
Even worse, Devon. They've had press conferences. They've had opportunities to do it from the platform. They've had opportunities to do it via social media.
And they refuse.
And the NDC is not telling their supporters to behave. They want them to act the way that some of them are acting.
It is a premeditated something that is planned.
Again, I continue to say to the members of the new National Party, do not retaliate. That's what they want. They wanted a busload of NNP to come out and beat the guy to a pulp. That's what they want. They wanted that. Nobody would have talked about the pathway. They come and they throw the water. The whole thing, the whole story would have been that a busload of NNPite hold a man and beat him to a pulp. That would have been the story. We don't need that in our politics here in Grenada. Yeah? I was passing through the supermarket yesterday. There's a young lady in front of me in all her NDC regalia. I say to the young lady, a pleasant good afternoon. I have nothing against her because she's a supporter of the NDC. I mean, she turned she up in she head and she turned she face and all kind of thing like if she vexed. But that's not my problem. I'm not the one that to answer to God for hating anybody. I'm not the one that to answer to God for that. If they believe in God. Yeah? And I'll continue to interact with members of the National Democratic Congress in a very hospitable manner. I have no problem with that. I'll tell you directly as it is. I'll tell you reality. And if you try to come at me in a certain way, I'm going to say it to you how I have to say it to you. But I don't think we need that in our politics. We don't need it. Not I don't think. I know we don't need that in our politics, that sort of behavior. Yeah? Nope. So members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, I would suggest that the brother that called, I would suggest that a formal report is made to the Grenville police station, that individuals with information as to who the individual that threw the water on the young lady is, that individuals who can identify the person, make sure that that person is arrested before the end of this week and charged with assault. Because and you see, he even showed it on a man, no? He looked for a young lady and threw the water on her. Because that's to tell you the type of mentality inside there.
Anything could have happened to that young lady. The water, I mean, could damage your eyes, you understand, all that sort of thing. No, we don't want this thing to happen with our fellow Grenadians. We all are one, right? Most of us have one aim and objective, is to develop Grenada, to see Grenada move forward. After March 13th, we all friends, we all families, right? Let us resist the temptation of getting involved in this sort of squabbles.
What happens now if the young lady sees the man somewhere else now and decides that this is her opportunity to retaliate? The whole story going on be that is the young lady. I mean,
exactly.
There was one that was circulating. They come and they show you what they want to show you from it. With some young ladies in Guelph, they come and they show you what they want to show you out of it, and they leave the other part out. That kind of thing should not be tolerated on any level by anyone.
And you see, Dr. Mitchell made it clear, and people make fun of it. He said, look, leave the people meeting alone. Don't go, right? Stay far away. And they make fun of it. But these are some of the reasons why he said that. You see, because of the sort of temperament and the attitude that is displayed by some NDC personnel, and their leadership, they're backward. They're not telling them don't to cease and desist. They're not. You understand? So I mean, it's
promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. I won't think you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. You don't have to fight to be a man.
Walk away. Just walk away. You meet in any confrontation, any argument, and it's getting too heated, starting to look physical. Just walk away, my friends.
My deceased father used to play that song for me all the time. All the time. And for this entire election campaign, for some reason, that song has just been going over and over and over in my head. You understand?
It is important. Yeah. Just all we got to do.
I don't mind if they consider me the coward of the county. At the end of the day, it wouldn't draw me into a conflict.
And all we got to do, NNPIs, all we got to do when there's situations like that, all you got to do is just keep moving.
Call the police.
Keep moving.
Call the police.
Yes.
Call the police.
No confrontation, no fuss, with a smile, you keep moving and call the police.
But Devon, I hear something. I want to really believe that is why I hear. I had to go and listen to this thing for myself. Somebody tell me that the NDC actually said they will run the country with no taxes. Name one country on the face of the earth that runs without taxes.
Dubai.
Who said Dubai don't have taxes?
Well, I just I just said in an oil-rich country, they might have plenty money, but they have taxes.
They have poverty in Dubai too, you know.
Of course. Yeah, you understand?
You see how somebody Bangladeshis and other people and them living in that country, Dubai? There is not a single country on earth that runs without taxes.
This guy is ridiculous.
And to stand in front of some young people and some other people who think that they're smarter than everybody else and make a statement like that, and these people ain't start to boo you and say what dotishness you're talking, then something has to be wrong. I ain't believe, if that is what they say, I go find it. If that is what they say in truth, now then you know that these guys and them gone totally local.
Yeah. Desperation. And so, and then you see the support. We got good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh boy. Yeah.
Good morning.
Continue doing this whole day. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Morning.
I'm calling from St. David's, but I'm Oliver all the way.
All right, my dear. You in Pedmata later?
Nobody can stop us. Yes.
All right, my dear.
Nobody can stop us.
Okay.
We're live and direct.
All right. You know, somebody said something on the live a little earlier. They said they had to get a special shipment of smelling salts and thing in by next week.
By Friday.
Because I know it have some NDC candidates that are going to be it have a lot of them that know they're going and lose, so they have mentally prepared themselves to lose.
They're good at that.
But it has some that feel that they have a chance of winning. And when they get the shellacking next week, Tuesday, by next week, Tuesday night, they're going to need a little... You know, they will need a little comforting. First, they're going to need reviving. So they need the smelling salts. Then they will need some comforting. All right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you know that they're going to need that. Let's try that phone call.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Quite fine.
Yeah?
Yes, go right ahead, caller. You're live.
Okay, Sheldon, the sheriff here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I was up in the rainforest Saturday with some tourists.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the candidates, I don't know which one from Grenville up there, stop in the rainforest and just showing no jersey for t-shirts for them tourists, you know. I have been laughing. I say, look at these people. The tourists and them cannot vote here. Look how desperate they are. You understand?
I hear down to monkey and all get.
Well, okay, so you get it too. They get a news.
You're monkey and all get t-shirt.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Okay then. All right.
But you know what I'm much disgusted about these NDC operators and so going into a sport meeting where the kids are enjoying themselves and distribute armbands and that sort of thing. My God, let the children have their fun. Let them have their day, right? The politics on a sports day is not for them. I'm not saying you can't talk to your children about politics. Yes, you can. Help them understand it. But don't go into a sports meet and hand out these things, these paraphernalia and so to the young children. It is not right, and stop it. You guys should know better than that.
Promise me, son, not to do the things. Yeah, no, serious, man. This one is crazy. Yeah, seriously. But folks, we're going to be going over various aspects of the manifesto tomorrow once again. We thought it important we start off with the economy today. We'll go a little bit into healthcare and agriculture, ICT, and so on during this week, so you know exactly. You already know who you're voting for. You know what you're voting for. So here a bit more of the plans and programs of the new National Party. So we're going to be going over a bit of that again. Remember the public meetings for today: St. Andrew Northwest, they're in Paradise; St. George Southeast, they're in Paddock; St. David, they're in Petmata Junction; St. Patrick East, the youth block session in River Sally Junction by Lyndon's Bar; and Devon, you had one for Southwest as well.
Southwest is tomorrow, please the Lord. It's at Harford Village, at the community center at 7 p.m. Honorable Yulan B. in Oxford.
Let's try our final call for today.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, you say you had some clip to play since last week. What, you're holding us ransom, or?
Yeah, I'm holding on.
Now, why are you keeping it for?
You know, I started playing it the other day.
Yeah.
I started playing it by mistake the other day and I stopped it.
By mistake? Well, it's not a mistake. If you have to play,
play the thing.
What's going on, man?
Play the thing.
Go play.
Right.
All right, brother.
Cool.
Yeah, more of the machinations of the National Democratic Congress. Yeah, oh yeah. So some people planning to take to the streets once they lose on the 13th. They plan to take to the streets on the 14th. Well, the streets gonna be full of people celebrating all kind of thing. Anyway, they'll take the streets. Listen, a lot of them we see a lot of them collecting NDC T-shirt and voting in NP.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you, I have some friends who they give them a T-shirt, they take it, they say, I'll go where that one are going in the land and them kind of thing, right? So they get a T-shirt, they take it. But believe me, they're voting for the new National Party.
Progress.
Yes, indeed.
Keep moving.
Yes, indeed. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. Yeah, we can't go further today. That's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been a wonderful one. It's been a very tiring weekend. Everything from Thursday with the press conference, then on Friday with the manifesto launch. And then on Sunday, but Saturday preparations for Sunday. For those of you that were here doing that, I was not wrong, so you understand, right? Yeah. But on Sunday, that massive rally, and when you all taking picture, take picture when the thing going on now. Don't take picture when the thing done and people walking going out. Yeah, take picture when the thing going on.
Yes.
Yeah, don't try to pull that one. Because we could point to the two facts that the stage empty and point away everybody in that little area coming out.
3/4 of the crowd left already.
Yeah, but there's no problem.
But it's all good.
Fight up, Popo. Fight up. Fight up, Popo.
I mean,
Popo, fight up.
We understand you guys need the attention. If that's the way you want to get it, then hey, so be it.
But no need that. You see, you all just putting yourself in a situation when you get a shock next week, it could be even worse than it would have been normally. You're just setting yourself up for worse. Yes, so and that's what they're doing.
All roads lead to pearls on Sunday.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right, folks, and we're supposed to have something major taking place at Pearls. But anyway, I'm hushing my mouth. They didn't tell me to say nothing. I hushing my mouth. I hushing my mouth.
They don't know.
Nice. So anyway, folks, that's all the time we have for today. We're heading out of here. All right? Nice. Beautiful.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the house. Vote competence. Vote NNP.